Want to know why? Ask how. Howard the Humongous.
The battle over the Mueller report is like a football game between the Republicans and the Democrats. A football game that could erupt in war and in an inquisition. Here's the latest state of play. On the Republican side of things, the president and his supporters are champing at the bit for an investigation of how the Mueller report began. They want an investigation of what President Trump on April 3rd called the oranges of the report. That's the origins. That investigation, they are sure, will allow them to lock up Hillary Clinton, Andrew McCabe, Bruce Orr, Nellie Orr, James Comey, and even Barack Obama, not to mention all of the other deep state Democratic conspirators who they are certain plotted long before the presidential election of 2016 to destroy the one true savior of America's greatness, Donald Trump. And it's likely that the Trump team can pull this assault on their enemies off. Why? In June, President Trump's brand new Attorney General, William Barr, submitted a 19-page memo to apply for the Attorney General job. In that memo, Barr said that according to the Constitution, if a president wants people locked up, it is the job of the Justice Department to follow his will. It is the Attorney General's job to investigate these people and to bring them to trial. So the Republican side may be on the verge of pulling off its own new witch hunt. It pays to remember where Donald Trump got the term witch hunt from. It was from his mentor, Roy Cohn, the architect of the McCarthy hearings that put Wisconsin Senator Joseph McCarthy on the front pages of newspapers day after day for 4 years. Donald Trump's mentor, Roy Cohn, was the architect of hearings that destroyed hundreds of lives, which may be an idea with deep appeal to the Donald. What's more, an anonymous official in the Trump White House made it clear on Wednesday, April 3rd, that the Trump team does not want any information from the Mueller report, quote, that is embarrassing about the president, close quote, to be revealed. The legal excuse is that, quote, he's not being accused by the special counsel of committing any crimes. But apparently there is a lot of information in the Mueller report that Mueller insiders say is, their word, derogatory about President Donald Trump's actions. In fact, the Washington Post says that the evidence the Mueller team gathered on obstruction was alarming and significant. Yes, alarming. However, the president and his followers are now crowing to each other that the 2-year Mueller report, with its 500 interviews, a report that complete with its appendices may come to 800 pages, was a $25 million witch hunt that came up empty-handed. We will only know if that's true if we see the entire Mueller report, which is why on the Democratic side, Gerald Nadler, the chair of the House Justice Committee, is demanding that the Justice Department release the entire Mueller report with all of its supporting evidence to the Congress and possibly to the American public, to you and me. Nadler and his committee have prepared a subpoena demanding the Mueller report if the Justice Department does not cough up the complete, unedited version. But that's not all the Democrats have up their sleeve. Massachusetts Congressman Richard Neal, the head of the tax-writing House Ways and Means Committee, has demanded 6 years of Donald Trump's tax returns. You remember those tax returns, the ones candidate Donald Trump promised us over and over again that he would certainly give to you and me. To make matters worse for the Republicans, reports in the Washington Post and the New York Times have revealed that the Mueller team prepared their own summaries of the Mueller report. So Gerald Nadler has sent a letter to Attorney General William Barr demanding those summaries. But the topper is this. This first week of April, for the first time in 2 years, there were leaks from the Mueller team, a team that for 2 years has been leak-proof. Why the leaks? Because an undisclosed number of Mueller's team members were alarmed that their report was being misrepresented. Specifically, they felt the Mueller report was being misrepresented by President Trump's new Attorney General, William Barr. They felt that Barr, in his March 24th summary of the bottom line of the Mueller report, left out the fact that the report contains information that is disturbingly, again, derogatory about President Donald Trump's actions. In fact, the Washington Post says that, quote, the evidence the Mueller team gathered on obstruction of justice was, again, alarming and significant. That March 24th summary from Attorney General Barr is the one that Trump said gleefully had shown that there was no collusion. It was the report that Trump said had exonerated him. President Trump answered in his tweets that the Mueller team quotes on derogatory and alarming information in the Mueller report are fake news. But he said something more, something extremely important more. He said that these stories were illegal. In other words, the president hinted that the New York Times and the Washington Post may be on the hit list of folks he wants his loyal servant and potential enforcer, Attorney General William Barr, to lock up. Let me repeat. The president has told us that the William Barr letter of March 24th about the Mueller report proves that there is no collusion with the Russians. As he declared in a victorious tweet, quote, no collusion, no obstruction, complete and total exoneration. But I have a surprise for you. William Barr's March 24th letter, summing up what Barr calls the bottom line of the Mueller report, contains a booby trap that none of us seemed to notice at the time. The Barr letter does not say what we all thought it said. It does not say that Donald Trump and his minions have not conspired and not coordinated with the Russians. It is surgically specific, dodgy lawyer specific. It states that the special counsel did not find that the Trump campaign or anyone associated with it conspired or coordinated with the Russian government in these efforts. The trick is in the phrase, in these efforts. What in the world does it mean? Barr's letter says that the Mueller report locked into two kinds of Russian interference in our elections: the spread of misinformation to sow social discord and the hacking of the Hillary Clinton team's emails. The Barr letter says that the Trump campaign did not conspire or coordinate with the Russians in these two forms of election assault, and in these two forms only, which means there's something the Barr letter does not say. It does not say that the Trump team did not coordinate or conspire with the Russians in other ways. For example, it does not say that Trump and his team have not coordinated and conspired with the Russians on, for example, foreign policy. Remember Donald Trump's 2-hour closed-door session in Helsinki with no other Americans present? The Barr letter does not say that our president is not unduly influenced by a hostile foreign power. And the Barr letter does not rule out Donald Trump's function as one of Russia's useful idiots. It does not rule out Donald Trump's role as the biggest foreign dupe in Russian history. There's one more Russian kicker to this story. While we obsess on the football game between Democrats and Republicans over the Mueller report, we are overlooking two things. Number one, the huge section of the Mueller report about Russian meddling in American politics, something you and I need to know about. And point number two, the fact that while we are obsessing on destroying each other, Russia is taking advantage of our withdrawal from global leadership to assemble what Time magazine this week called a ragtag empire of Putin-like despots loyal to the Kremlin, an empire that spans the world from Asia and Africa to the continent to which we are most intimately connected, South America. In other words, the Russian campaign of American political disruption has you and me doing Vladimir Putin's work. This is Howard the Among Us, speaking to you from the future. It's your job and my job to make. Or, want to know why? Ask how. And now, for the sneaky, sleazy, slimy, seditious, little off button.